What's up guys, Dude, I'm back with you again, and I thought what I'd like to do is a video explaining the team that I have that got me from basically nowhere to the top 10 in PU, got me to 8th. I probably could have kept laddering and got to number 1 if I wanted to. It is basically a team that can do that. I got this team, it was kind of similar to a team that I saw on here. This Hazard Reliance team done by Mysteria. I was really interested by it, however, I didn't want to use Scyther because then it meant that my team was a bit too reliant on Avalug having to spin away rocks if they came up. I didn't want there to be this huge reliance that I had to trust Avalug to get rid of rocks, because late game Avalug can die, and if rocks are up, longevity screwed. Also, I kind of noticed with this team, looking at it from a glance, like, the special attackers weren't really doing too much. Poliwrath isn't exactly designed to be a special attacker. Stunfisk isn't doing too much, and Haunter's basically your only special attacker. Whereas when you look at this team, you can hit hard offensively with Garbodor, Avalug, and I mean, Poliwrath is almost better as a physical attacker. So I actually decided to change a few things on the team to better suit me. So the first thing is the lead. 9 times out of 10, guys, this is your lead. This Garbodor. I love this set. It is basically an easy way to counter most of your opponent's leads. Basically, what this thing can do, if your opponent has a camera up that you know is going to be their stealth rocker, this can set up spikes on the first turn when they go for stealth rocks, toxic spikes when they go for lava plume to break your air balloon. Then you can go for an explosion, which is almost guaranteed to OHKO most camera up sets. I believe the physically defensive set can live one, but it's weakened to the point where then you can just go into something like Poliwrath and it's dead. So what this thing is basically designed to do is get up T-spikes and spikes. Now, you have to, though, look at the opponent's team a little bit before you do this. If your opponent has a golem, you probably don't want to lead with this because, unfortunately, this thing will die to 3 Rock Blast hits because of the ability Weak Armor. Weak Armor is good in a lot of situations, though, because if it's hit by a physical attack, like a physical lead, such as, I don't know, there's a few around. If it gets broken there, it gets a speed boost, and that way then it can outspeed some things and just take them out. Like, one really good example, I suppose, is Cricketune. Sometimes they go for X-Scissor to break your balloon, then bam, you're faster, explode, they're just going to get destroyed. Cricketune has, like, no bulk. So yeah, I don't mind it. The EVs are basically designed that you want to be faster than most other leads that will be coming out, bar maybe a Sneasel. And you want to be adamant, though, because you want this explosion to do as much damage as possible. The aim really is to set up T-spikes, spikes, then explode. The only reason Seed Bomb is there, guys, is just in case maybe you are up against a Golem, and it's basically for Golem and Relicanth, I believe. Basically, any Pokemon that will resist your explosion, and you can get more damage off with Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb will OHKO Relicanth and will bring Golem down to its sturdy, and it may activate its weakness policy, but it really doesn't matter because you're packing like a Poliwrath, which can deal with it. You're packing a Serperior, which can deal with it, a Haunter. Like, you've got coverage for it for days. Anyway, so that's basically, this is what you're going to lead with 9 times out of 10. Spikes, T-spikes, explode. It's basically that simple. If your opponent has a poison type on their team, don't even worry about T-spikes. Just go spikes, then explode. Your aim is to basically get up hazards with this thing. You only need 1 layer of spikes. Don't get greedy and go for a second layer, just because the first layer will do 12.5% damage, the second one will only do another 6.5. So it's only worth it if you feel like you can spike stack. If you know your opponent can rapid spin or defog, just stick with T-spikes and spikes. But if your opponent doesn't have a poison type, this is awesome. If they don't have a defogger, like a lot of my battles, I didn't see defoggers, and this team just loves it if you don't have a defogger, because if you have a rapid spinner, you run into Haunter and have a bad time. Anyway, so looking at this, it was a really good lead, and I found that another Pokemon that really helped was Poliwrath. This is a fully defensive set with Circle Throw. This basically just shuts down a lot of the physical attackers in the game. Basically, this and Avalug just shut down any physical players my opponent wants to go for, to be honest. This thing just blocks Sneasel. Blocks a lot of Pokemon, and Circle Throw is a godsend of a move in this team because you're spike stacking, so your opponent is going to be taking damage after damage after damage, and they can't set up because they'll just get switched out. He is a little weak, though. I decided to boost his special attack instead of his attack because I know that Circle Throw is still going to do a decent amount of 203 attack, and I wanted to increase Skull just a little bit more so that I could get a few more kills with it, and it actually came in handy where it was sometimes a roll to see if Skull would kill, but because I gave it those 4 EVs, it was a definite kill. I think on a Rapidash once, had 30 HP left, and normally it'd be a roll, because I gave it that 4, it was a clean kill. And so that means I don't have to worry about these rolls, and I can just get the kill. This is really good though. Rest Talk is amazing though because you can switch it down on stuff like Avalugg and just get like a free sleep. It also is really good against stuff like Bastiodon, and this also takes status really well. So I found it to be a really good Pokemon to switch around with, and also Circle Throw is just a godsend in this. Haunter is my spin blocker. This basically just walls most of the rapid spinners. The only two that were used when I was battling, I believe, Avalugg and I think I went up against a Sandshrew. Don't know why Sandshrew, but it was there. This basically can come in on Avalugg. I can live a hit from Avalugg, and then I can choose. I can debond Avalugg, which if I do that, Avalugg's if my opponent's Rapid Spinner is gone and there are still hazards up, I'm so happy. Like, because then I can freely get up rocks with Stunfisk. But basically, I'm running. I don't know why I'm running Sludge Bomb. The whole time I was running Sludge Bomb, it never really mattered. But honestly, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sludge Wave is much better. Like, you don't even need to poison because you have T-Spikes. It's not a big deal. You really should have Sludge Wave on this thing. The reason you have Trick is in case something like Avalugg or Bastiodon wants to come in. It also works really good against like Dusclopses who know they can live a hit, and you can take their Eviolite, which is going to be really nifty. Destiny Bond is actually a really, really good move for this. If your opponent has a setup sweeper that is just like cleaning house, and maybe Stunfisk is able to get paralysis, or something happens where Haunter will be faster than it, you debond and then it dies, and it's just really good. It just cleans up. Like if Haunter's got like no HP left and you're switching in, and you're about to die and you won't be able to kill. Like I did, I think against a Behium 2 or 3 times where I just debonded, knowing I wouldn't be able to kill it because it was AV, and then I killed something with it. So Haunter was doing its job anyway. It's a really good move to have at the end. Trick is also super handy, and then just Shadow Ball and Sludge Wave as your 2 main attacking moves. Works so well. Some people say run T-Bolt, to catch defoggers. Honestly, I don't really see the point of running T-Bolt. It's really gimmicky, and it just loses a slot. I think Trick and Debond are really, really handy, because if you trick away your Scarves or something else, then it gives you a lot more opportunities to use different moves, and you can still outspeed a lot of the stuff in this tier with 317 Timid. So I think it's a very underrated Pokemon, and very, very good for this tier. Now, this is the one, I guess, change that I made compared to the team that Mysteria had. He had a Scyther, which was banded. I didn't really want that. I wanted a Special Sweeper, as I saw that this team could could do physical damage fine, and this was definitely my best choice, because the team was a little Tangela weak, I found. Tangela and Gourgeist kind of wrecked this team, so I figured the best thing to chuck in was Serperior. Handles them both incredibly well. Don't exactly want to take a burn, but if I switch in before the burn, or like any status like Toxic, I can set up a sub. You can't let this thing set up. 357 speed, the only things that outspeed this are Scarfed Pokemon, Electrode, and there's one other Pokemon in this tier that outspeeds it. Golly, I can't remember. It has like 361 speed when it's maxed out. I can't remember what it is, but it's faster than this if you run max speed. This is basically like one of the best setup sweepers in the tier. Like, Barbaricle's good, all that stuff's good, but then again, like, what can Barbaracle do against Avalugg? Absolutely nothing. What this thing can do is not against Avalugg. This isn't designed to beat Avalugg. I have other things that can beat opposition Avaluggs. What this thing is designed to do is come in on the bulky grass types, set up a sub, your opponent switches out to do something, then you just proceed to either Calm Mind up to the point where your opponent can't do jack shit to you, or you just HPRs and Giga Drain. This basically, HPRs and Giga Drain is perfect coverage for Serperior. What this will let you do is basically check opposition Serperiors that might be running HP Rock. So it's kind of a toss-up between Ice and Rock. The reason I run Ice on my Serperior is to basically win the one-on-one matchup, because Calm Mind Serperior is a god. What it also means, like, I had a couple of battles where, like, I was against an Articuno and I wish I had HP Rock because it would have killed it, but you know what? 9 times out of 10, HP Ice is so much better for it. It hits a lot more in the tier for better damage, and Giga Drain is your main stab. Like, Giga Drain is ridiculous for this set because you can Calm Mind up and you might be at half health. Your opponent switches in something that is just going to die because you outspeed it. Yum, Giga Drain, get all of your health back. You can run Life Orb, but it's a subset. If you're running the Taunt set, I would implore you to run Life Orb. But since you're running the Lefty set, you have to run. Since you're running the subset, Lefties is kind of paramount to it. I prefer the subset to the life. I prefer the subset to the taunt set. I used to be a fan of the taunt set, but it's so much easier just setting up a sub. And this thing can just set up. I think I did one video where I literally got to +6 and just wrecked this guy's entire team. It just and this wins. This always wins the one-on-one matchup if your opponent has HP Rock and you have HP Ice. Just telling you now, it always wins. So then to finish off, I guess my kind of defensive core is Stunfisk. This is ridiculous. Like, I don't know how this is PU. Look at this bulk. 109, 84, 99. So he can take special and physical hits for days. Pain Split is an iffy one. I mean, I use it because it is really good for when you're trying to toxic stall people. Like, I had a Tauros, I think it was toxic. I knew it wouldn't be able to kill me. It attacked me, and then I was able to Pain Split, and it took even more damage. And it chips away at opponents' bulky Pokemon. Also works really well against Wish Passes. Brings Stunfisk up to a really easy heal. As I mean, even with max HP at 422, you can get a lot of health back from the really bulky Pokemon. Earth Power and Discharge, really easy coverage. Scald is an option, but then again, you're poisoning things and you have static, so what's the point of running it? Discharge also deals with the the main defoggers, which are all bulky water types, which can't kill Stunfisk and can get possibly paralyzed from Discharge. Stealth Rock is really easy just to bring out and deal with Pokemon. And Earth Power is to deal with stuff like Garbodor, Camerupt, stuff like that if you need to. And also the Special Defense drop is sometimes nice. Now, I run 4 Speed EVs just in case you ever... it never happened to me, but just in case you ever get in the situation where you are one-on-one against a opposition Stunfisk and you need to attack first, this will do it. And some people run it in special defense. Honestly, you already have, it's 99 special defense. That's a ridiculous bulk for a Pokemon in PU, so you don't even need it. I think it could come in handy. You never know, because Stunfisk should be used more, and it's not. I don't even know why it's PU. It should get upgraded. But anyway, then we come to the last Pokemon. This, guys, was the MVP by far of my team. I was a little bit skeptical about running special defense Avalugg. I thought, well, you know what? He's mainly meant to be physically defensive, like 184 defense. He can take hits for days, right? You don't even need to invest in in defense. 404 base defense is stupid. Like, that is stupid. Matched with a 394 HP stat, physical hits are going to do nothing to you. Literally nothing at all. And you have Recover to heal off. This thing checks most of the physical threats in the game, and if you're recovering and they're doing maybe 30%, then you can just fire back an Avalanche and OHKO most of the physical threats in this tier. Most of them. Rapid Spin, really easy. This is basically my way of getting rid of hazards. I almost always get a spin off. I don't think I've ever missed a spin because I can just play around ghost types. Like, I can predict them to come in and just go for raw because I've already spike stacked. So they just get damage off. This is my personal favorite set, honestly. 252. So it only has base 210 special defense. Let me explain though how good that actually is for it. I was up against a Kadabra. It was a Focus Sash Kadabra, which has base 110 special attack. Probably running timid, but still 110 special attack maxed out. Did maybe 40% to this Avalugg. 40%. And then I basically would have OHKO'd it with Avalanche. This thing is ridiculously powerful. This thing takes hits for days, can rapid spin away any of my opposition's hazards, and can then just proceed to Avalanche and destroy. Okay, the last move slot, Raw and Toxic, are really the two moves. If you're ever in a stall fest, Toxic can be great to use there. I use Raw because you're spike stacking, and your opponent may want to try and pivot switch to deal with this thing, and so it's just really easy to click Raw, and honestly, you can rapid spin away their hazards pretty easily. 9 times out of 10, my opponent's spin block is going to be Haunter. I can click Avalanche, and it's a 2-hit KO. And Avalugg is bulky enough to live any hit. If Haunter wants to trick me, I've never been tricked by a Haunter before, which is weird. I would have expected to, because normally I just go into my Stunfisk. I'm happy with my Stunfisk being taunted, because most of the time I've already got my rocks up by then. So Avalug was easily the team player of this. I mean, he just survived always, and it took something incredible to kill him in every battle. I rarely had to sack him, and if I did sack him, he'd get like avenged straight away. So guys, this team, I lost how many times? I think I lost 3 times, and I won about, I'd say, 30. So this team went 30-3. In me laddering basically from the top 100 to number 8. It was this team just didn't lose. The teams, okay, this just beats sand offense easily. I don't care if you set up rocks. I don't care if you lead with Glalie. If you lead with Glalie, I'm leading with my Poliwrath and just destroying your soul. And my Avalug just eats up hits from all of those threats. The one team that scared the crap out of me every time I went up against it was Sun Offense. Sun Offense is terrifying, but this team beat it every single time I went up against it, because Haunter basically was able to beat Victory Bell. You basically just waste the Sun turns and kill Victory Bell. Once that happens, you're fine. Beat Victory Bell. The 3 teams that I lost to, one team was literally because of hacks. My Serperior was going to beat another Serperior, but he critted with Giga Drain, and that killed me, so that sucked. Second team was against a guy that had played me like a jillion times, and he brought an Articuno, and I couldn't kill the Articuno. And the third time was again against a guy who had played a jillion times, and he knew my exact team, and just outplayed me because he knew exactly what I would go for because he knew all the moves. So that one sucked. The last two kind of sucked because they were against guys who knew how my team worked, and the first one sucked because it was hacks. So basically, in just a battle where nobody's seen the team before, this team is good. I had a couple of like really lucky wins, like against a guy who I know is really good. He's like topped the tier before. I got lucky with Parahacks with my Stunfisk, but you know, that's the part of the game. I don't complain about it, it just happens. So anyway guys, this is the team. I was really amazed. I'm pretty sure I'll still be there on the ladder. I don't think anybody's got above me just yet. I did this earlier in the day. But yeah, I'm still 8th on the ladder. I could probably even just finish laddering and get up to number 1 with this team if I wanted to, but I'm choosing not to. I'm happy I got to the top 10. You know, I don't need to prove myself any further. I said I'd just go top 10, and that's exactly what I did. So this team actually ended me really well. I had a really good Glicko at the end of it, which I was happy with. And it was good. And this team is good. So yeah, remember guys, oh, that's not the team. It's team 23. Go back to the table. But anyway guys, thank you for watching this. This is probably, I mean, when you look at Mysteria's team, it is very, very similar, but I think I do a different playstyle, and I found that adding Serperior to this team over Scyther actually made it a lot more solid, and was able to actually deal with a lot more threats that my opponents would have. But let me know what you guys think. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment on my channel. I'm really stoked with how this team went, and now I'm going to do some research into NU teams and come back with a few sessions of that. And hopefully we can get as much success as we did with this one. But anyway, it's Viduga29, signing out.